IBB Builders Merchants proudly supports volleyball.
To get the ball in system here, potentially leading the game as he does from the inside. Nielsen, that's a good swing. International, the experience. Blockers watching through the net.
Hello, I'm coming to you from right outside the Women's World Championships, but I'm going to take you back in time just a little bit because a month ago, well, this whole month has been pretty much the most important month in men's and women's volleyball for the last 4 years because the World Championships are happening. The Men's World Championship was hosted by Poland and Slovenia. 16 games took place in Gliwice, Katowice, and Ljubljana over 10 days, bringing thousands of spectators to the venues and having 10 million viewers watch from the comfort of their homes in around 90 countries. Out of the 16 countries participating in the finals, the best turned out to be Italy, which waited 24 years for their 4th world title. They silenced a fully packed Spodek Arena in Katowice and triumphed by getting the upper hand against the defending champions Poland, winning 3-1 in the gold medal match. A few hours earlier, Brazil had also defeated Slovenia 3-1 to claim the bronze, taking their place on the podium for the 6th straight time at a world championship.
Play and just blast it high off the hands and out of bounds.
I was there in Poland and I captured something special for you guys, some behind the scenes action with some of the best players in the world, had a chat, had some laughs, so have a look. Can you settle the debate, which is the least demanding position in volleyball?
Middle blocker.
No!
Taylor Averill.
Tonight was a clear example that libero is the least demanding position in sports.
In sport? Oh yeah, it was like fully in sports, not just in
volleyball is like
volleyball.
so obvious it's the least demanding.
The most important exercise when you go to the gym for your position.
Let's say split squat, Bulgarian squat.
Gary, that's the worst one! Is it your favorite?
Probably not favorite, but I have to do that.
Are you-
That's what they say.
they
I would
say
say
that.
that I don't need to lift at all, but they say I have.
Oh, I love to do hand cleans and Bulgarian squats. Anything for the legs, the hips, the quads, the butt that can make you push off quicker and get your ass going.
Ooh, the butt exercises. I like it. If you could choose any exercise to do, your favorite one for the rest of your life, you only get to work out one exercise.
To be honest, just stretching after.
What is the most important thing that you can do as a middle blocker to improve, let's say, your jump or your anything in middle blocking?
Dude, you know what? Here's what I'll tell you. There's no secret pill.
Just hard work?
I mean, there's just no secret pill. Like, you can focus on increasing your vertical and then you have knee pain. And then your vertical doesn't matter at all. You know, it's like you play long enough and it's about everything. So I'm a big fan of like exploring your body and seeing what you're capable of, and like fitness changed my life in college, and like I was lucky enough to meet someone who changed my life and went all in on it, and so that's why I'm super passionate about sharing other ways to skin the cat.
Super creative things.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And best part of the world champ so far?
Oh, the crowd. I mean, Poland is awesome. I live really close to here. I expected them to come, and they're here, and they're amazing.
Okay, Poland has the best fans. Can you tell me why they love volleyball so much?
I don't know, but this year it's like really big boom in Poland for this one, and we are really happy that they cheer for us on every game.
You've become one of the best middle blockers in the world, possibly. Do you have any sort of like tricks or anything to say to younger kids that want to be awesome at blocking?
Yeah, okay. I try to not to think in that. I try to play, to enjoy. Today I play against two of the best middle blockers. One of my the reference of the middle blockers for the last 10 years maybe. So it was very happy playing against them. And yeah, to the kids, dream I think is the most important thing because everything is possible.
How do you get to this level as a player? Is there something that you would tell your younger self?
Go and play basketball.
That's a great advice. I'm going to take that because you want to be an all-around athlete. Why not?
I joke, but I don't know. I also everybody here, we just love volleyball. Then when you love something, then it happens to be great usually.
When you were a younger kid, a little boy, did you ever imagine that you would be playing at this level?
Yeah, I mean,
You did? You knew it?
No,
Okay, you knew right away.
I dream a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I love playing national team, I dream all my life. I'm enjoying a lot, so I'm very happy.
Alrighty, welcome to one of my favorite parts of the episode, the News Corner, and today it's all about the Men's World Championships. What an unforgettable event it was. First of all, huge result for Italy, who took home gold. They overcame Poland in front of their massive and incredibly enthusiastic crowd in the finals. Brazil also took out the other host, Slovenia, to secure their bronze medal. But this is Italy's fourth world title. They were such a strong team in the 1990s, but they haven't been on top in recent years. This win, which came just out a year after the Italians became champions of Europe, is a big sign of things to come for the Azzurri, which is Italian for blue. 6 of the Italian starters in the World Champs finals were under 26 years old, including their unicorn outside hitter Alessandro Michieletto, who has joined a small group of players in history to have won not only the title of under 19, under 21, but now at senior level as well. Another one of those select few being Jakub Kochanowski, who was actually across the net middle blocking for Poland, but he's going to have to settle for silver this time. 26-year-old Italian setter Simone Gianelli was awarded MVP of the tournament after guiding the young squad as captain of the ship, as well as a calming and stabilizing presence. He always has a way of running an incredibly hard to read offense, which is simultaneously balanced, yet somehow he always finds the hot hitter. I can't explain it, I was never a setter, but it's just really great to watch as a spectator or as a fan. Gianelli had quite a few hot hitters to choose from, actually, in the finals, from Michieletto, Lavia, Romano, and those youngsters played with skill and expertise way beyond their years. So I'm really looking forward to watching this team develop in the years to come. Poland and Brazil, they've always had great squads. There's no surprise there, but it was actually Slovenia who really impressed me in this tournament. I remember in the VNL in 2021 in Rimini in the bubble, Slovenia made it into the finals. They were just short of a medal, a bit of a deja vu here, perhaps, but they're really becoming a team that can genuinely compete with anyone in the world. And of course, they were co-hosts of the tournament, so they had the luxury of a packed house of their colors every time they played, and they did not disappoint. Brazil secured their 6th consecutive medal, 7th overall in the tournament history, with their bronze performance, but more impressively, convincing 35-year-old Wallace to come out of retirement to help the squad. And it may well be the last time wearing the yellow and green for Brazil. Sort of a swan song of sorts for the big man. And, well, the curtains have now closed, all the champagne has been drunk on the men's side, and most of the players have headed off to their international clubs for the long 8-month season ahead. However, there is still plenty more volleyball to watch on the women's side because Women's World Champs has just begun. So be sure to tune in on volleyballworld.tv if you want to see all the action unfold there. And I'll be in Poland and the Netherlands commentating for the tournament. And I love my job. So see you there. The atmosphere of the Men's World Champs was something really, really special. We're probably not going to forget it for years to come, but that was because of all of the hard work of the organizers. They put on a really incredible event, but it's not the first time that Poland has hosted something like this.
As the Polish Volleyball Federation, we used to organize every season some big events. We usually organize every year competitions under the IBB umbrella, like Volleyball Nations League. And from time to time, this is every year or every second year, we organize VNL finals or Champions League finals, European Championship finals. as well as the World Championship finals.
Only this year, Poland was hosting the VNL tournament, then the finals of the Men's World Championship, and now it's in the middle of the Women's World Championship.
The Polish Federation, among the first federation in the world, recognized that it's not only enough to be good in a sport with a team, you must also organize the event. And this is the reason why they started among the first, and they collected so many experience. And after, it's very easy that you can always renovate something.
Everybody knows what to do. And what is the most important thing, Poland now, from my experience and from what I heard from different sources, is probably the best country in the world from the sport infrastructure point of view. We have a lot of big new competition halls, and this is quite easy to organize big events in Poland now.
One of maybe historical moment was the opening ceremony in the World Championship 2014 in Warsaw, in a football stadium. It was fantastic, more than 60,000 people in Europe. In that time was a record.
It was an event like no other. It was a great shock for all people coming to Poland for this World Championships to see so many spectators for, volleyball match. This is absolutely unusual in the world because, well, we used to say that football is a kind of a religion, but in Poland, volleyball is probably sport number one. So in this case, we were very successful, and everybody remember this event.
This success gave Poland a major boost, and ever since then, its events were only better. So what are the plans for the next year?
Next year we will for sure organize VNL tournament here in Gdańsk. So you are welcome to see all these matches, and then we will think what to do next. But I think that after this year we need to rest a little.
But the world of volleyball is not just about the world champs. There's a lot more to offer than you might expect. I want you to meet some friends of mine from London who are playing volleyball, our lovely sport, despite some challenges. This is a discipline called sitting volleyball. It's a form of volleyball for athletes with disabilities.
The sport was invented in the 1980s in Holland, and in the mid to late 90s a team had started and were playing regularly. Unfortunately, that team disbanded. However, when London got awarded the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2012, a team was started up again back in 2005, and we have continued since then, initially working towards participation at London 2012 and various European Championships and World Championships moving forward, and the team has continued from there.
The sport is not that different from indoor volleyball.
More similarities and differences. The key difference is that for sitting you can block the serve, which went out of standing volleyball in the mid-80s, and the rules are you have to keep one buttock in contact with the floor.
Person's going.
Games are played in a smaller court of 10 by 6 meters compared to the 18 by 9 meters of indoor volleyball. The net's hung at a height of 1.5 meters for men and 1.05 meters for women.
I think the most difficult thing with sitting volleyball is you're not just having to learn the game of volleyball, but also having to learn how to be able to move around the court and kind of training your brain to move in a different way. It's not that automatic, your legs just take you a place, you have to have your hands down. And so because everything is lower, it's much faster. And so it is quite a complex sport to play.
The skills that are crucial would be hand-eye coordination, agility, a good cardiovascular system.
We'd like to see this sitting volleyball just as another discipline of volleyball. Certainly within England, UK, our domestic competition is purely open, but obviously at international level, the athletes have to classify.
The national team is taking part in international competitions, aiming to achieve again the level it had some years ago.
At our best, before 2012, we were ranked 10th in the world. But now we're just trying to build up our ranking.
We are building the programme as much as possible. We recently went back to international competition over the summer. Had a training camp with France at the end of May, who are obviously the next hosts of the Paralympics. And we competed in the European Bronze League in July, where we ended up with a silver medal, narrowly missing out to the Czech Republic, who won the gold. Moving up in the next few months, we have a number of international tournaments in Copenhagen, and we have a training camp planned with the Italian men's team, all with the goal to hopefully be in a position to qualify for Paris in 2024.
Where the next Paralympic Games will take place. To achieve that goal, the coach has no mercy on the players.
I don't coach these guys any differently than I do my day job, which is working at the University of East London. I believe that a lot of it has to be self-discipline. We work the guys hard. The guys who were at 2012, they were training 20 hours a week. 3 of the guys here went through that whole cycle. So they were training 20 hours a week. Some of them were working full time.
The captain of the GB national team and one of the most devoted players is Robert Richardson.
I was born with a deformed foot, so that worked fine until I started to hit puberty and got a bit heavier. And yeah, at 15 years old, I had the amputation. I started playing sitting volleyball back in 2005, so just after London was announced to be hosting the 2012 Paralympic Games. Went to a recruitment day, tried out lots of different sports and got selected for sitting volleyball. Started training in London with a London Lynx, the club team, and from there grew into the national team and went from there really. But I've been lucky, I've gone to European Championships, World Championships, Paralympic Games. I recently got my 100th cap for Great Britain as well, so it's been a big part of my life.
If you are dreaming of having such an amazing career, the team's recruitment process is constantly ongoing.
We're always on the lookout for new players. We have about 10 teams compete once a month at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, with various rounds of the competition that goes through to the National Cup finals in April. But also we're trying to grow the sport as much as possible, and always on the lookout for new players, trying to get the word out there really.
It's enough to find a club in or near your hometown.
We have a lot of clubs that train weekly in various areas of the country. Nationally, we aiming to train once or twice a month in various locations. Obviously, we've got the location here at Bletchley Leisure Centre, but we also train at the University of East London at Sports Dock, and we also train at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering.
All right, we have come to this section of the show where we get to chat with someone interesting and awesome in the volleyball world. And today we have Finn Taylor, who is CEO of Volleyball World. So we know FIVB, but what exactly is Volleyball World and how does that differ? And what exactly are the two entities? Why are they separate? What's the difference there?
Well, the FIVB is the governing body of the sport. So it looks after all of the rules, all of the player transfers, all of the governance of the game from a national federation, international federation perspective. Volleyball World is the commercial side of the sport. So if we think about how we get volleyball on TV, how we think about talking to countries and cities and arenas about bringing volleyball to these countries and cities. And if we think about how we bring sponsors to the sport and how we grow the commercial side of the sport, that's Volleyball World's job. And so the company was set up to really be separate from the politics and to be able to create a very focused approach for the sport so that we're able to grow. We actually grow the sport outwards, if you like. FIVB manages inwards, insert the players and the officials and the governance. We manage it outwards. We look after the sponsors. We look after the fans. We look after the stakeholders. And that's how we essentially split the roles.
But you come from a really interesting background. So you come from Cirque du Soleil. What did you do there, and how are you sort of bringing that into this role that you're doing now?
You might think that there's not a lot of crossover when it comes to sport, but actually when you think about it, what we're trying to do with volleyball and with all sports actually is entertain the public. And so as we in Volleyball World are evolving the events and trying to improve the presentation of the events around the world, we're really focused on making sure that the fans have a great night at the volleyball.
What do you think are the strengths of volleyball that made it something favorable to invest in the first place? And why might other sponsors, maybe on a smaller scale, want to invest in the sport that we love so much?
The challenge with volleyball is it's a huge, huge sport in terms of the number of people that play volleyball, that watch volleyball, that love volleyball. But as a sport, it's very fragmented and everyone's all over the world, and there's no real way to capture that power, if you like. What I like about volleyball is that the sport is fantastic. So we already have a great product. And now all we need to be able to do is tell everybody about it. I've yet to find someone that I bring to a volleyball match or take to a competition for the first time that doesn't walk away thinking this is the greatest thing they've ever seen.
I can corroborate that because I've been to a couple of the big tournaments so far, but there was sort of speak of wanting it to feel fan first. To people I've spoken to, within the organization, thinking, all right, how can we emulate things like the NBA, where there's kind of fans like literally on the sideline, they can almost touch the players. They could be spilling their beers onto LeBron James, and it's that kind of fun atmosphere. Is that something that you looked at and talked about? Are there other sports that you're kind of thinking we want to take this from them and a little bit of this from them and add that to our product?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, right? There's a lot of sports have been doing a lot of really great things for many years, and they have the success to prove it. I think our sport's better than the NBA, to be honest. It's certainly from an event perspective, I think it works actually a lot better. But I think that everything's different, right? Every sport is unique and special. I think our sport, we're lucky in that our sport lends itself to being super family accessible. So mum, dad, and the kids are all going to get an experience out of the sport. And I think, bringing the fans closer to the athletes is one of the things that we're really focused on. We have amazing athletes. I mean, not only are they tall and incredibly athletic, but they're friendly, they're accessible, they're great charisma. So why not show that off? Why not allow our fans to almost be able to reach out and touch that?
I think you've got the nail on the head there, because everyone's still really down to earth. Nobody's kind of like got that diva mentality that they're earning so much money that they just don't even have time for their fans. I completely agree.
Let's hope we get there.
We're gonna get there. Don't worry. But it's for sure. And are there some specific changes that the volleyball world has made that fans might be able to notice, and any other sort of future changes that might make the sport and the game attractive to fans that you have in your mind?
I think the two obvious ones that we've introduced this year would be the serve clock, which we brought in at an elite international level, essentially to keep the game moving. I mean, other sports have serve clocks or timing clocks like tennis, like NBA. And so we were really conscious of making sure that the fans were not being, the attention was not being broken by too long gaps between points. And then certainly the way that we've laid the court out to be able to bring the fans closer to the court and be actually on the court. The front row of the fans are now on the court. And then from a TV perspective, we're adding new cameras, we're bringing new angles in. We have some amazing stuff coming up this year in terms of new technology, new data, new graphics for on screen. Won't give you too much more information, but they'll be really crazy.
Come on, Ben.
It's going to look fantastic. We've been working, we're lucky that we've been working with some of the, sort of revolutionary TV producers from the NFL, from Formula One, and from some other amazing sporting properties who have come in, have discovered volleyball, because again, these guys who have been dealing with the NFL for 30 years have told me, I don't understand why nobody knows about this, because it's so amazing.
And I love that you guys are trying to add more and more of the leagues. Like, for example, people at home may not know that if you tune into Volleyball World right now, you can get all the international tournaments of indoor and beach volleyball, but they can also get the Italian league. They can also now get the Big Ten, you know, and there's a couple of other leagues that I don't know are announced yet, but that are going to be available on the platform. And I imagine that you guys are just thinking, we want everything. We want to be the hub where you can go and watch all of your volleyball that exists in the world will be here.
Yeah, we broadcast about 4,000 matches this year, and it'll be more than that next year, that's for sure. But it really is about opportunity, right? People might not want to watch 4,000 matches, but the quality of the volleyball in the US at the college level is phenomenal. Of course, the Italian men's and women's leagues are unmatched, I would say, in terms of the world level. And then we have all of the FIVB indoor events. We have all of the beach events. So, yeah, there's an amazing amount of volleyball that you can consume if you want.
Well, I hope that people do want. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you chatting with us.
To get the ball in system here, potentially leading the game as he does from the inside. Nielsen, that's a good swing. International, the experience. Blockers watching.
IBB Builders Merchants proudly supports volleyball.